Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the Worldwide Gooner Elite podcast. It's Mike Heineman here, joined by a Burnley fan, JB, and also Ed as well, Arsenal fan. So let's go to you first, JB. You know, of course, I bet you're absolutely delighted still. I saw your videos after the game and you were doing the Burnley hokey pokey. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've celebrated a bit more modestly today with a bit of Battenberg cake and a cup of tea. How good am I? You know what I mean? But I'm older than you two. You know what I mean? So I'm getting towards 40 years old. I mean, I'm only 2 years away from that now. So I've been around the block enough times. But last night I was just unbelievable. Cloud nine. See.
Oh, have we lost you there, John? I know.
I think he's disappeared.
Overexcited. But no, we'll bring him back in a minute when he's able to get everything sorted out in terms of any issues he's got. But from an Arsenal perspective, I've got to bring you in, Ed. And, you know, it's a shocking start to the season. We were just saying it off stream there as well. Worst start to a season since 1974-75, which is, you know, as John was saying there as well, the last time that Arsenal were defeated by Burnley. So, you know, where's it all going wrong at the moment?
How long have we got, really?
As long as you want, mate. Yeah.
I think it's a culmination of many things. I think, and I don't like blaming Wenger because he done amazing things for the club, but towards the end of his reign, things were starting to go wrong. There were signings that really, I think they were makeshift signings, which unfortunately they're still here now.
Yeah.
And it's been mentioned many times, the core of the club, but it's true. And I think with Arteta and the players he's got, unfortunately, he has to pick a few of them because they're the positions where we are quite light.
Yeah, exactly.
And unfortunately, he's got to trust in players that potentially he doesn't trust because he knows us fans certainly don't. And I think there is the culmination of that. And I think, to be honest, it is consistency with regards to tactics and formation. I can't tell you the last time we played the same formation and the same tactics two Premier League games in a row.
No, not this season. Certainly not this season.
And that is your bread and butter. I understand every so often change it up a bit because other teams get used to the way you play.
Yeah.
That bog standard formation, and at the moment, I don't see why 4-4-2 wouldn't work because.
Yeah, you just said that off stream as well, and you know we've got the players there that can do it, and of course, you know we've got a massive game on Wednesday now against high flying Southampton, who, you know, they put 3 past Sheffield United in yesterday's game for them as well, and you know fortunately we're without Granit Xhaka and Hector Bellerin now because, you know, they've both stupidly got themselves suspended one way or another. But, you know, you were just saying it off stream. We have to go back to picking the guys from the Europa squad. And I'm with you 100% on that as well. The likes of Balogun, the likes of, you know, Smith Rowe, Willock, Reece Nelson all deserve a chance now at, you know, showing what they're about.
Well, yeah, like, that's the thing. I think all those youngsters, even like Aziz as well.
Yeah.
They see those Europa group games as a bit we always used to see, like the League Cup.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like the Kids Cup. It's like that opportunity for the kids to showcase what they can do.
Yeah.
And I think at the moment, you could ask anyone if you were to choose Balogun or Aubameyang, who would you choose?
Balogun. Yeah, 100%. He's the informed striker. You know, whether it's ahead of Aubameyang or Lacazette. Excuse me.
Up front together.
Yeah.
Eddie Nketiah is our league goal scorer this season.
Yep, absolutely that. And, you know, a lot of those games where he's come on and he's had an impact. You know, was it West Ham as well, where he come on and got the winner?
Exactly. And I think, I personally think Arteta used it as a shock tactic.
Yeah.
Get rid of all those first team players that played on Sunday. And you know what? Don't need you. This is who I need. And bring on the likes of Reece Nelson, Willock, Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
To be honest, everyone's crying out. No one likes to bring it up, but the Ozil thing and the creativity. We've got that in a young Englishman called Smith Rowe.
We have indeed. Yep.
Look at how his vision, the way he passes. Why wouldn't you play him? Because at the moment in the Premier League, we've got no creativity. And who makes that? I know Arteta's trying to play Laka as a number 10.
It's not working. It worked in the Europa League where he scored that absolute scorcher of a goal that we were touching on. But when you're doing, when you're playing games against Dundalk or you're playing games against, whoever it may be, it's different to your bread and butter.
Exactly, and I think we can all say, and we all have the joke, like it's a farmers' league and all this sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, you play who you got in front of you.
Yeah.
But like you said, the league games are your bread and butter, and the Premier League is completely different, and we've seen it this season. Like the likes of the Premier League champions and who are going to Fulham and scraping a draw. Like
that's it. Absolutely, as well. They were outplayed, in my opinion, and they got lucky. And they're the same Liverpool side that were absolutely torn a new one by Aston Villa.
Yeah, and literally last season we nearly had our unbeaten record taken from us because of them.
By Liverpool, yeah, exactly. And then we were lucky because obviously it was at Watford and they beat them. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's how the Premier League is different to cup competitions and other leagues. It's you don't know what you'd think any other day we could have spanked Burnley.
Yeah, like obviously John's there as well. I'm going to bring it back in, and of course that's no disrespect to Burnley Football Club as well, because everyone knows Burnley's style and Burnley's way of playing. But
absolutely,
it's Arsenal,
yeah.
So Arsenal should be expecting 3 points.
Absolutely, they're a good side, Arsenal. I look at Arsenal and think on paper they are a good side. The only thing that I would say that's wrong with Arsenal at the moment is that maybe the attitude going into certain matches. They played really well at Manchester United earlier on in the season, and I actually thought at the time they could actually get top 4 when they went to Old Trafford and won. I mean, that's no ordinary Man United side to beat. The problem with Arsenal is, there was a stat I brought up on commentary last night. It also was on Sky last night that since Arteta's taken over at the club, they've had 7 red cards, which a big worry if you're an Arsenal fan. And I've got to be honest, if I was looking at those statistics of the Burnley fan, I'd be alarmed as well. I mean, Arteta's got a big job on his hands. There's a lot of people now calling for his head. Arsenal fan TV showed us no respect last night. I was very disappointed with them, the likes of DT and Robbie. Now, Robbie Lyle, I have to say, has gone down a little bit in my estimation. I watched back their watch-along stream after the match, and I was very upset with the sending off because he said it was a bit soft. Now, I'm sorry.
It's not soft. You don't go and grab somebody around the neck like that and expect to get away with it, especially with the day and age of VAR right now. Granit Xhaka of anybody knows better or should know better because he's already let us down once, and that was last season against Palace.
Yeah, when he took the shirt off and everything. Yeah.
That's the thing. You think 5-6 years ago could have got away with it, but not only. To be honest, you couldn't. Do you know why? He did it right in front of the referee as well. Like
that's it. Yeah.
3 or 4 feet away from him, and VAR And the only reason he did it, he got tripped over in that little scuffle. He fell back, fell over. His ego was bruised, and he got up and he wanted to go at someone.
Yeah, for sure.
And he went stroppy like he did last season when he threw his shirt off. He lost his rag and went someone, and the red mist went down. Everyone says, "Oh, you learn." You don't just learn something like that. That's because it's history repeating itself. He did it last year. He lost his rag, and then he's going to come back and go, "I'm really sorry. Can you forgive me?" And it's no.
We were saying it off stream as well, and I'll bring Wayne into this in a minute as well with Granit Xhaka and the whole situation there. But we said it just a minute ago, weren't we, Ed? And Granit Xhaka's had an opportunity now. He was stripped of the armband, and he's still carrying on his same ways. If he serves this 3-game ban and gets back into the team, there's masses of questions on Mikel Arteta.
Massively. It's that condemnation, isn't it? Like he did it to Pepe.
Yeah.
He publicly, straight after the game, came out and said, "Right, I'm not happy. He's going to get." and he's done it with Guendouzi. He shipped him off on loan.
Yeah.
But then nothing for Xhaka. And it's like, what's the agenda? If there's not an agenda, you need to come out, even if it's not straight after the game, come out on the social media, make a statement and say, this is what's happened, but nothing. And that's where that would be the questions asked of Arteta, not in game.
Yeah, but
to be deflected at his man.
Go on, John.
But think back to a couple of weeks ago when Pepe got sent off for a head against Leeds. Arteta came out afterwards in the post-match media and criticised him.
Yeah.
Now, wouldn't you say that's double standards from the manager there?
Massively.
Yeah, 100%.
Yesterday he didn't do it, and it's already the question's going to be asked because he hasn't done that to Xhaka.
Exactly that. So let's bring Wayne in as well. Good evening, Wayne. How you doing, mate? And, of course, we just said it there in regards to Granit Xhaka. I said it to you last night, John, as well, that we started brightly in that first period of the second half, so the first, 10, 15 minutes or so. Yeah. And he's really let us down there, hasn't he, Wayne? Granit Xhaka. And, Russ has said it there. Russ Morgan, Granit Xhaka should never play for this club again. I 100% agree with him as well.
Yeah, as you can see, mate, watching Arsenal was bringing out my grey hairs. No, I don't know, man. It's stupidity from Xhaka. He should never have done it. And Pepe should never have done it as well. What he done at Leeds, that was ridiculous. But you're right. Arteta's got to come out now and treat Xhaka how he treated Pepe.
Yeah, for sure.
He can't have one rule for one and one rule for another. And I think that's a big problem at the club. Arteta's got his favourite players. And it's the same with Bellerin. How is Bellerin? You can't blame Arteta for this. He signed Cedric. Cedric was his signing. No one else's. Not Wenger, not Unai. Cedric was his signing. Exactly. How is Cedric not getting ahead of a player that is one of our highest paid players at the club who can't even take a throw?
No, and what I will say about Cedric there as well, Cedric was brought in on loan, and there was enough seen about him to put that permanent.
Yeah. Exactly. And every time I've seen Cedric, he looks a half-decent player. Now, if he played every week, I'm sure Arteta could get the best out of him and say, right, that's my right back from now on. And to me, I don't want to blame Arteta too much because a lot of the issues at Arsenal does go back to the old regime of Wenger. It goes back to Unai. It goes back to... From top to bottom, it goes back from the board, it goes back to all the medical, like everything, the whole problem. But all I'll say is I didn't want Arteta. You know how I felt about that. I didn't want Arteta in the first place because I felt he was too inexperienced and the job was too much. I wanted an experienced manager. People laughed at me when I said go and get Brendan Rodgers. Look what he's doing at Leicester now. People laughed at me when I said to people, get Mourinho. People were like, no, but he slagged off Wenger. I slagged off Wenger more than most.
We've all slagged off Wenger at some point.
Exactly. But my point, exactly. People were saying, oh, Mourinho's washed up. He can't do it no more. What's he doing now?
Winning the league.
And it hurts. I've supported this club since I was like 6 years old. Now 35, go to games and that, and it hurts to see the sad state at Arsenal. And I was reading today that it was saying that the managers they think that could take over Arteta, they were saying Thierry Henry. As much as I love Thierry Henry and Vieira, Vieira was my favorite. I don't want ex-players that haven't got the experience. You've got Pochettino sitting there that's doing nothing. You've got Allegri sitting there. People were saying, oh, yeah, but Allegri ain't that great either. He won how many titles at Juventus? And how many Champions Leagues and everything else did he win along the way? All right, Pochettino didn't win anything at Spurs, but he got Tottenham playing as a unit, as a team. He drilled it into them. If you don't play and you don't put 100% into that shirt, you ain't playing next week.
Yeah, 100%. Go on, man.
And that's what we need. We need, as I said, Arteta, great. Winning the FA Cup, brilliant. We was going through dark times anyway, so the FA Cup winning. And the Community Shield win was a light on a dark period, and now we're even worse off than what we were under Unai Emery.
Mm-hmm.
A lot worse.
I was going to bring in that point there by Russ, because that's a valid point there that he's put in as well. The issue at Arsenal is the recruitment. For the past 10 years or so, Arsenal have been useless at buying and selling players. We said it off stream, didn't we, Ed, as well? Alexis Sanchez was let go, and we gave...
Mike, can I just make...
Yeah.
Mike, can I just make a clear point here? I think what the problems from Arsenal stemmed from the fact that when David Dean left. When you had David Dean at the
I said that
years
ago. Yeah, 1,000,000%. I said years ago when David Dean left, you watched how when David Dean was there, he was going out, was buying players like Thierry Henry. No one ever heard of Thierry Henry until he came to Arsenal. No one ever heard of Dennis Bergkamp. I mean, no one heard of Canu and players like that when they came to Arsenal. They became superstars. And since he left, it's just...
It's because he was a fan. He was an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
And that's where it starts. He wants the club to succeed, not just his bank balance.
Yeah. And I listened to your point about Ozil. Now, my thing with Ozil is, right, people say he goes missing in the big games. Maybe he does. But you've got a player there that is the highest paid player at the club, and he's sitting down laughing at that club because he's collecting the wage packet every week.
Yep.
He's saying, look,
he's on social media, he's active.
Exactly. Exactly.
There's no respect for Arsenal Football Club, no respect for Nico Arteta, nobody. No. If he's on the book, he plays. He plays. You're telling me that Ozil is you're telling me that Willian's better than Ozil? Come on, man.
No way.
Really? No way. You're telling me the way Pepe's been playing that Ozil can't get ahead of Pepe?
100%. Of course Ozil can, yeah.
There's
I'm a Burnley fan. I can see what problems are in the Arsenal team.
I mean, exactly. I'll tell you what, there's
don't need a pure genius to work out.
And the problem with the Arsenal fan base is so many of our fans are so deluded to what's actually going on behind. I saw it after Wenger's sort of last 5 years at Arsenal. I said he should have left after we won the FA Cup against Hull in 2014. He should have gone out on a high, bowed out. That would have been his legacy. Wenger kind of ruined his own legacy before he left because it just went downhill after that. But he should have gone then, and we could have gone out. And the managers that were available then, you had Jurgen Klopp available then. You had so many top quality managers available that we could have gone out and got. And we probably wouldn't be in this mess now. But I don't want to be one of these clubs that I said this to you last night, Mike. I didn't want Arteta, but I'd only get rid of him if someone was available, like an Allegri or a Pochettino. If they're not available, don't get rid of him. He has to turn it around on his own accord, because if we keep sacking him and then we bring in another manager like him, like an Henry or a Vieira or someone even lower, it's just going to be the same old. We're going to be having this conversation next week or next month or next year. It's just going to keep repeating itself. So you need to get rid of him when a top quality manager becomes available, or otherwise we're just going to end up in a cycle and it's just going to be even more toxic than what it is now. And as I said, it hurts. I get so wound up talking about it at the moment.
I can tell. Take a breath. And let's bring John in as well, because I know, obviously, you're a Burnley fan, and you said it there that you can see, where it's all going wrong for Arsenal and what Arsenal really need to be doing, and that's, bringing in these creative players. And I think today even we were linked with Eriksen again as possibly a January move for a swap deal with Granit Xhaka. What do you say? Do you reckon Arsenal could benefit from a kind of player like that?
I honestly I don't think the attacking intent is the problem. I think it's your defence and goalkeeper. There was a couple of occasions last night when I was doing the commentary on my YouTube channel where they were playing balls across their own 6-yard box, and Burnley were very keen to close them down. And that, now, if I'm an Arsenal fan looking at that, if I was an Arsenal fan looking in at that, and I'm an outsider looking in, I would start worrying about that, because you cannot afford to play out from the back. Because teams like Burnley, and I watch Burnley week in, week out, as you know, teams like Burnley will close you down, defend from the front. They'll defend from the opposition 6-yard box if they want to. That's the way Sean Dyche sets up. And Mikel Arteta should have been on the ball, knowing exactly, getting scouts to Burnley, monitoring the way that they played. For example, when we played against Crystal Palace, we won, but it wasn't pretty. We don't play pretty football, and obviously, because on paper to a lot of big clubs, we're second or third rated compared to, say, a Manchester United or something like that. But we can hold our own against the big teams, and we did that again here last night. Can I just make a point about the Burnley performance, if I may, Mike?
Yeah, of course.
I thought everybody in the dark strip of Burnley last night really did the club proud. I actually think the team performance was excellent. We kept our shape, 2 banks of 4. We looked absolutely solid at the back. Nick Pope made some stunning saves. I have to say the best one he made, it wasn't from Lacazette or Aubameyang or whoever. It wasn't the smart saves. The big save he pulled off was from your best player, actually, Kieran Tierney, in the second half, as he cuts into the penalty area from the left, gets a right-footed shot off. Not only does he actually save the shot, he actually holds on to the ball, and Tierney actually hits that very, very well. He hit that with some ferocity, and he slowed down as well to the goalkeeper's right as well, and that was a remarkable save. The winning goal, I have to say, at first, when I was doing the commentary, I actually called it as a Brownhill goal, because I thought from the naked eye that Brownhill had flicked it. But obviously the replays show otherwise, and poor Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang put through. But put through his own net, sadly.
He finally scored.
Yeah, how ironic that he was waiting ages to score.
No, what I was going to say there to you, John, as well, and even, I'll bring all of you up in on this as well. Granit Xhaka had already been sent off. El Neni on, who was it? Who was your man that El Neni had the scuffle with in the box just before that as well?
It was James Tarkowski. And I tell you what, I actually thought at the time, and I still think now, he should have been sent off. And at the time, I was lobbying for a penalty. But at the end of the day, we didn't need the penalty in the end because we scored from the corner. So it worked out all right in the end. So, but I think he should have been sent off. I think the first red card was correct from David Coop, not the fourth official, the VAR ref. Can I just also make the point on the Xhaka incident? At the time, I only saw the scuffle between him and McNeil after he'd obviously taken McNeil, and it was a yellow card. It was a professional foul. He had to do what he had to do. First of all, Granit Xhaka. So he got the yellow card for the foul. But I didn't see the Westwood incident clearly. It's only when I saw a replay and I was like, what have they gone to VAR for? I'm thinking in my head, and I'm trying to work it all out. And then I see him grab Westwood. First of all, I've got to make the point. He grabs him by the shirt, and then he's almost strangled him to death. It was vicious. Yeah. I mean, he's almost. I hate to say this, guys. I know you're all Arsenal fans, but he was almost like GBH. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I agree. Mike,
and there's no point for that in the modern game of football.
No.
This is the thing. You touched on our defence, and I would say our defence is terrible. It's shocking. I would keep 3 of them at the back. I'll keep Leno, Gabriel, and Tierney. I think Tierney and Gabriel have been our 2 best players this season. So far this season, they've been our 2 shining lights. How is Mustafi still in this team?
And how is
Saliba, a guy that we went tooth and nail to get, hasn't even played in an Arsenal shirt yet? And again, it goes back to my point. Mustafi's getting ahead of him. How?
Yeah. And Saliba's getting frozen out. Mikel Arteta clearly doesn't fancy him as a player for whatever reason.
No.
He was.
It's like
he could have had a cup final for St Etienne, and then we stopped him from playing in that because obviously we would have had to pay him some extra money towards the loan fee. And that's it really. I'll bring you in, Ed, as well. Saliba, he definitely deserves a chance just to see what he's about, doesn't he?
To be honest, there's all this talk about Arteta and he not liking and he doesn't get on with him. I don't care. We've all got jobs and we've all got people at work we don't like, but we're there to earn a living.
And a wage.
Yeah, the kid was brought in. Yeah, he might be a kid, but you've seen what he's done at St Etienne. He's played against the best in the world. He's played against Neymar and Mbappe and made them look stupid. I've seen the St Etienne PSG games and he owned them. Like there's something about him. And Unai Emery wasn't a bad manager. He had a bad stock to take on. And like we've said, like that if he had different players, if it wasn't that core, he could have done well.
Yeah, for sure.
And to be honest, look at what Mustafi's done this season. Look at what David Luiz has done, mistakes-wise. They have cost us massive games, like Man City games and Liverpool games. They've cost us games. Saliba, what is wrong with giving him a chance? What's really going to happen?
But then it goes back to the whole Ozil thing as well. Is it Arteta? I know he come out and said it was him, but is it the board? Is it the board saying it's got to be the board?
100% political. It's political. It's not football. Because if it was that bad, why don't they just give him the money and tell him to buy? Bye.
No, it's not football. It's 100%.
He said it. He said it was footballing reasons. Now,
nowhere near.
What possible football reasons could there be for you not playing your top player, your supposedly top player who's earning the big wage at the club? Ozil's meant to be our star player, and as I said, a defender that we went tooth and nail to get, he hasn't even had a look in. I'm not being funny. The team that we got at the moment, I'd rather go to the under-18s and just say, "Yeah, lads, here's your chance."
Yeah,
the first teammate doing it. There you go.
That's it. There's plenty of guys in there as well. You know, we were just saying earlier. You know, Aziz, Balogun, Cottrell.
Yeah.
You know, lots of those players that deserve an opportunity. They've had it in the Europa League. You know, Aziz is highly rated. You know, maybe stick him in on Wednesday night and give him a run out in midfield rather than Dani Ceballos.
Do you know when I lost faith in Arteta as well? I kind of lost faith at the start of the season, like when the whole transfer window came about, and there was heavy links that Xhaka was on the move, that Holding was on the move, that Bellerin, Mustafi, all these players that were under the old regime were finally going. And I thought, okay, they're all being linked away. You know, they're all saying like Holding's off to Newcastle and Xhaka's off back to Switzerland and Mustafi's going back to Germany and all this. And then all of a sudden, Arteta offers some new contracts.
Yeah. I know
it's like how what, like, you know, against Tottenham. I'm not being funny, right? If you look at them goals, now people were saying Son's goal was a wonder goal. It's a good goal, but it weren't a wonder goal.
Only if we'd have closed him down, he would have
exactly. People were saying, "Oh, Leno should have stayed on his line." I'm not being funny, right? None of them defenders, even midfielders, stuck a foot in when Son was running at them. They just went,
they worry where he was.
Yeah, they were going, there you go, mate, run through and score. Leno was probably thinking in his head, you know what? None of you are going to stick a foot in. I'm going to go for it. And he come off, charge him off his line.
That's the reason he looks so shaky. He doesn't trust his back four. He doesn't.
No, exactly.
Now, because it goes down to consistency. Because he hasn't got the same back four every week.
Exactly. And if Leno had a decent back four in front of him, you'd probably see the best out of Leno again.
Yeah, but you look because you go back to the glory days. You look back when we first won the Premier League, and you had Seaman, Winterburn, Dixon, Keogh, Adams.
The English back five. Yep.
Yeah. And they were the same consistent back five every week.
Oh mate, can you imagine if a player like Son was running at Tony Adams and Martin Keown? Well, Adams would have barged him and went, "Get up, mate."
Well, you know what I mean? Every week.
Yeah. Vieira as well. Can you imagine players like Son and that coming up against players like Vieira every week? Games, mate. They would just been like, nah, see you later. Or Roy Keane, for instance. He would have just been like 2 feet in.
That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see in players, a bit of desire.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to see them like literally throwing their bodies at the ball. You look at some of the Burnley players on like last night.
Brownhill was one that we touched on earlier. Yeah.
There you go.
He threw his whole body at him. He didn't care what he hit.
No, someone in the chat just put Holding backed off and Bellerin fell over for that Son goal. Absolute disgrace. Spot on. And it goes back to my point. Boyd, that's what Leno was probably thinking. If none of you are going to put in a tackle, then I've got no choice. I'm going to have to do something, or otherwise he is going to score, and he did score.
And it boils down to that. He shouldn't have the goalkeeper in my head is that last line of defence. He's that last resort.
Yeah.
Because there should be at least 4 defenders in front.
Yeah, and if the goalkeeper ain't the last resort, then he's got no choice to come off his line and try something.
Exactly.
And that's what he probably thought. But as well and this is the thing with Arteta's favourites, like against Wolves, how many times in that game did Bellerin get skinned?
Oh,
I lost count. Every single time. And what's his reward? He gets picked again the following week.
Mm-hmm. It's not showing. Like it's a bit like if your kid's naughty.
Yeah.
You take their phone away from them, but then just give it back.
Yeah.
Laptop. Yeah.
What's the point? Like we've really got the worst right side in the Premier League, haven't we?
And teams know it. Even Burnley knew it. And most of our goals conceded have come down from that right flank.
Yeah, and the only goals we've scored are down the left, so they know they can skin us on the right and just defend the hell out of the left.
Exactly. And I don't know, man. I mean, if I was Arteta, Wednesday it's horrible to say because it's probably coming to the point now where Wednesday and at the weekend against Everton are our 2 biggest games of the season.
Make or break for him. It's either, if he loses both for them 2, he's gone.
Yeah. And then after that we got Chelsea at home.
We got City in the cup as well.
Yeah. Madrid. Yeah.
Do you know what? In a way, right? People will probably slate me for this, but in a way, I kind of was sitting there thinking, I never want to see my team lose. Never want to see my team lose. No. But if we don't get into Europe,
which we're not,
it might be a good thing next season.
And
because if we don't, and my point is, the board will have to look at it because the board treat Arsenal like a business. Now, if they treat it like a business, their business is failing miserably at the moment. Yeah. It is failing. So if we don't get into Europe and compete in the top competitions like we were promised when we left Highbury, I'd rather be back at Highbury right now. I miss that place. But if we... if our board are serious, they would have to look at it and go, right, maybe it's not the manager, maybe it is the players. Time to get rid of the players, bring in new players. Or it'd be a case of, right, our business is failing, maybe we do have to sell to someone that cares that much about the club. If that's the case, then I just think we need to do what Liverpool done for a couple of seasons, stay out of Europe, do a complete rebuild and just focus on the Premier League if we stay up this season. And that's horrible to say because we're only 5 points off relegation. Lose our next 2. We could be in the bottom. We could be in the bottom 3.
Yeah, we lose tomorrow. We lose tomorrow on Wednesday, and Brighton win. We go below them.
Yeah,
and it's like I just hate seeing our team this low down. Like I'm not saying that we should be top of the league.
No, we shouldn't. No, but on paper, we should have one of the most feared attacks in the league.
Yeah,
sure. Easily.
I've got a couple of questions, fellas, all right? So we've got a question from Ty. If not that Ty, by the way. If Arteta is still manager in the new year, will Arsenal stay up? And no. secondly as well, what I will say, Russ made a good point as well, saying but Arteta says Saliba needs a loan deal before coming into the Arsenal first team. But
what's that all about?
Why?
Yeah, but what I was going to say is the Leicester defender Fofana played alongside him at St Etienne, and he is, putting up.
And he's come in, yeah. Do you know what makes me upset? Right, sorry, mate. When we signed Thomas Partey, we played Man City away, right? All that hype about Thomas Partey coming. City signed a player that week as well. He started. Why didn't Thomas Partey start?
Yeah, they signed the player pretty much the same day, I think it was even.
Other teams signed players and they were straight in their first team, straight in the training and in the team. Why is it when we sign players again, Gabriel, we signed him and what did he do? Drop him out of the Liverpool game.
Yeah,
and we lost 3-1. And people were saying, "Oh, David Luiz had a good game." What? Really? No. He was at fault. He was at fault for the third goal. He headed it down to Jota, and Jota went, "Cheers, mate."
Yeah, that's it.
And
you said it earlier, Red. Gabriel has been our standout player.
Yeah,
even more so than Thomas Partey and Kieran Tierney. Yeah,
massively.
And the thing is, as well, this is when I lost faith in Arteta, Mike. When I said to you, when we lost to Man City 1-0, and he turned round and he said, They done everything I asked of them. I'm proud of that performance and proud that we only lost by the 1 goal. What kind of message is that sending to those players? If I was a manager and I lost to Man City 1-0, we didn't have one shot on target, I would be fuming.
Yeah, I wouldn't be proud of anything.
I wouldn't be proud of that.
No.
That's it. That is the only shining light this season. That the games we lost, minus the Villa game when we got taught how to play football that night, all the other games have been a low scoreline. I mean, let's be honest. That Tottenham.
Go on, mate. I was going to say, even with Spurs as well.
Yeah,
that is typical Spurs. That is Mourinho's style. And
but let's be honest, Mike. Spurs were in second gear that game. If they really wanted to, they could have pumped 5 past us. If Mourinho just went like that and said switch it up, they would have easily pumped 5 past us because we just ain't good enough. That's all it boils down to, and it does stem from the top. All the way down to the bottom, and there's all these leaks coming out as well. Like there's a snitch in the team, there's a snitch in the training ground, and Arteta is saying that he's going to find out who it is. But
I think that's part of the reason that he's not talking to David Luiz. Those two are not on speaking terms at the moment.
Probably, but then there was that rumor about him and Ceballos having a punch up.
Yeah,
like a few weeks ago. Yeah,
Ceballos obviously has history with Eddie Nketiah as well earlier on in the season.
Do you know what I said? Right at the start of the season, right? We had a little bit of money, so I said, okay, it would probably cost about 20-25 million. Why not go and sign Lewis Dunk from Brighton? He's Premier League proven. He's a decent defender. You got Max Aarons at right back who plays for Norwich, who's much better than Bellerin.
I'd take Aarons.
Much better than 100% take him, and he won't cost a lot of money. Now, if you had Max Aarons, Gabriel, and Lewis Dunk, that's probably going to be a half decent defence there.
And Tierney on the other side.
And Tierney on the left. Yeah, that you can train up.
To be honest though, with Saliba, like everyone goes, he needs to go on loan. No, he don't. Like,
no.
What?
He needs to be given a chance. Yeah.
What about Aziz, Balogun, Willock, and players like that? Why don't you put, if you're that worried about Saliba, put him in a League Cup squad. Put him in a Europa League game. Give him time to prove himself in an Arsenal shirt, not in the colours of another club, because you want it to get him to prove himself around the players he's going to be playing with that week in, week out. And if we've spent the close on to 30 million for a kid, start playing him. I don't care if you don't get on with him.
No,
if you can't get on with him, sell him in January, get rid. But you're not going to get 30 million for him.
Willian was the biggest flop signing of them all as well.
Oh, don't get me started on Willian. Willian is an absolute waste of a signing.
Mate. I'll tell you what.
How much is it?
We got more out of Kellstrom than we did out of Willian.
Yep.
And he had a broken back.
Yeah, John. Yeah.
How much is he on a week? I mean, he must be on at least 250 to 300 grand, surely. I mean, he's not producing. He's not performing for his wages, is he? Let's be fair. I mean, last night, for example, he got into some good attacking positions. Him and Bellerin, by the way, down the right-hand side. They had umpteen chances to cross it, but they just kept on passing. They were like scared, rabbits in headlights, scared to cross the ball. And you've got Aubameyang and you've got Lacazette in the middle, waiting for these crosses, and you can see on their body language they're getting frustrated by it. It was good from a Burnley perspective, don't get me wrong, but when you're looking at it as a neutral, you're like an outsider looking in and you're thinking, this is an actual mess. Are they not having any confidence drilled into them? Poor old Lacazette looked like a lost boy. I mean, he had one chance. He should have scored. I grant it, but the rest of the game, he was almost a passenger. Same with Willian. Same with Bellerin. I mean, DT on Arsenal Fan TV hates him so much. I mean, he had a right. Apparently, he can't take a throw in. Apparently.
He can't. How many foul throws did he did against Tottenham? He done 5 foul throws against Tottenham. Yeah. And the thing, that's what I'm saying. We have got some players like Pepe. Pepe is a quality player, but this manager can't get the best out of him. Yeah. And this is where he's shown his inexperience. We need a top manager that can get the best out of these players, like Pepe and Aubameyang. And I don't know what's up with Aubameyang lately. I don't know what's up with him. He's not himself.
What I will say to you, John, isn't Aubameyang now Burnley's top goal scorer, second top goal scorer?
Yes, what I think. But no, I mean, I've got to be honest. I mean, I must admit, we half fancied our chances because I watched you guys against Dundalk. You won 4-2, but defensively, you look very suspect. And I'm sure Sean Dyche will look at that game. All right, you won very comfortably in the end, but you conceded 2 sloppy goals. And Sean Dyche would have looked at that and thought, right, like my game, what he'll have said to the guys before the start, yes, Arsenal are going to have about 75% possession. That's a given. They're going to have a lot of the ball. What we've got to do is just keep our 2 banks of 4 and make it very difficult for them
Same what Tottenham done.
To get
and counter. And
you could
we
see what you did.
I mean,
we could have 98%. We could have 98% possession, but as long as you have them 2 counter attacks and you go on and score, it doesn't mean a thing.
No.
If you have that much possession, I expect us to at least have about 3 to 4 shots on target and at least score 1.
I mean, we won against Liverpool with 19% possession a few years back. We won 19% possession. We beat Liverpool 2-0, and Jurgen Klopp was the manager. So it's effective. I mean, it's not everybody's cup of tea. I mean, I get knocked as a Burnley fan on Twitter because your team play boring this and boring that. You're always lost on match of the day.
I will take right now. I would take going back to the old George Graham days of playing boring 1-0 football, 1-0 to the Arsenal. I would take that now.
You're winning championships, and I'm old enough to remember those pre-92 days. You know,
I would take that now. I mean, I was still very young to remember that. Like, I weren't old enough, but from the clips I've seen and highlights of watching Arsenal back then, I would take that right now.
But that's the thing. We're in that position. We're in that place. Like, look at Burnley, right? Burnley sussed us out, and every other team sussed us out. They know we're crap down the right, and all our attacks come down the left. That's why they packed out all of our side that we attack up, and they knew Bellerin can't keep up with a snail, let alone a pacey winger.
But the thing is, football players must be sitting there at home watching Bellerin week in, week out, and then rubbing their hands saying, I can't wait to come up against that guy. I'm going to absolutely skin him alive.
Yeah, and it happened with Wolves. It's happened multiple times this season. And Ty said it there. Williams on $200,000 a week, but he's actually put in another question as well, which I did want to bring in. It's quite a long-winded question or point anyway. What our senior players are lacking is confidence. Lacazette had that chance to score from Tierney's pullback, and he had the whole goal to aim at, and he hits it straight at Nick Pope. Aubameyang had one-on-one, and he tried to pick out William. We are seriously lacking confidence, and that's it. Like, we said it with Aubameyang earlier on. He could do with a bit of time out of the squad at the moment. For me, yes, he's the captain. Yes, everybody knows what he's about, but at the moment he's working his socks off, but it's just not falling for him.
I think he should be a captain.
Mate?
Yes, John.
Can I just make a point? Maybe the fact that he's captain might be weighing on his mind a bit. He's got added responsibility. He's a striker. The pressure's on him to get 20, 30 goals a season. I think what Aubameyang should do is say, look, I can't do both jobs. Can I sort of step down as being captain? It might just take pressure off the shoulders. Give it to somebody like Gabriel, sort of a back player or like that. Or Tierney might do well as captain for you. But now, that might just take the pressure off him a little bit because I think it's burdening him being captain.
Yeah. Personally, I think with Aubameyang, I can't slate him too much because I love the guy and he's one of our top players. But for the last 2 seasons, let's be real about it, Aubameyang has carried this team.
100%.
Without his goals last season, where would we have been last season? Without him and Leno, where would we have been last season? We'd probably have been
where we are now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's probably weighing on Aubameyang, like you said now, because he's like, I'm not getting the service. I can't do both jobs. For 2 seasons, I've carried this team. They're not learning. I don't know what else to do. I need help. And until he gets the help, I mean, we could have Messi in that team right now, and we still wouldn't win. We could have Ronaldo in that team, we still wouldn't win.
If Arteta didn't like them, they'd still be dropped and frozen out anyway. It doesn't matter who they are.
Probably, yeah. Willian would still get ahead of Messi.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. That's why I said I don't want to blame Arteta too much, but you can blame him for certain things and you can question him for certain things. His tactics. I said to you at the start of the season, Aubameyang is not a left winger. He isn't. He's a player that likes playing down the middle, in on goal, with the right service. 9 times out of 10, he will put him in the back of the net. He's not a left winger, and he even come out and said that himself. I thought we got past the days of playing players out of position. That's where the players started turning on Unai Emery. If you noticed, right, under Unai Emery, when we went 22 games unbeaten, we beat Tottenham in that as well. Let's not forget that. And they were doing well back then. He played every player under them 22 games in the right positions.
Yeah. And actually, what I will say about that as well, there's one certain player that I feel very, very sorry for, who was in that side. He scored the 4th goal on that day as well. Lucas Torreira.
Yeah, right. He was playing all the players in their position, and we went 22 unbeaten. Yeah, was looking good. As soon as Unai changed it and tweaked it and said, right, I'm going to play him there now. I'm going to play him there, see how he gets on that position. What happened? The players started turning on him, and it's happening exactly the same now. He played players in the wrong positions. He hasn't done much lately, but you know he did it for a while, and now I don't even think Arteta knows his starting 11.
No, he doesn't.
And that's the big worry. You look at other teams, for instance, you look at Burnley and Sean Dyche. He knows his starting 11. All right, they might not win every week, but he still knows his starting 11.
You could probably name the other 19 teams starting 11 to a point. You could probably name them. Arsenal, I could bet you a tenner that you won't know one game to the next who's to starting 11.
I'll say I'll know 3 players. I'll know 3 players that will get picked every week: Xhaka, Bellerin, and Willian.
Yeah, come on, John. What were you going to say? We've got a point there. Yeah.
I just made the point about what one of these guys has just said about Sean Dyche picking the same team. He's got really no other option because let me just give you the basics of what our squad is at the moment. We have 17 fit regulars. We've got 2 or 3 out injured. That's Jack Court, Johan Gudmundsson, and somebody else. I can't remember. But, so we haven't got a very big squad. So we've got less than 20. Plus, we're having to put in youngsters like Jimmy Dunn and Josh Benson from the youth academy up the numbers. I mean, we had a bench last season at Manchester City consisted of just youngsters when we got Tonk 5-0. Yeah, and I mean, people forget that we have a small squad. We don't have much money. The chairman at the moment is in the process of handing the club over to, ironically, American owners at the moment. The takeover apparently. Well, as long as I'm not bothered, but we're not expected to be up there like the Arsenals and the Man United of this world. We're always going to be a small town club, whether we like it or not. But we've always punched above our weight. And that's one thing I've got to say. I was very upset with some of the lads on Arsenal Fan TV saying that, they're bottom 3. It's only Burnley, little old Burnley. What they've chose to ignore there, that we've been Premier League regulars for 5 years. We've been in Europe. Okay, we didn't actually make the group stages of the Europa League. We were cheated out by Olympiacos. But at the end of the day, we've overachieved. We've overachieved. You know what I mean? So, for them, for people like DT and Robbie Lyle to say that we're just little old Burnley, that's disrespectful to the club. I mean, we always punch above our weight. Yeah, they might not like the way we play, but I tell you what, if it gets results, who cares?
Is that our problem? Is that our problem as Arsenal fans that we expect too much?
Yes,
we expect
because we live in the Invincibles. We live in the past. And the thing is, like, especially people like Arsenal Fan TV, like DT and all that, they are of the age group. We're around about our age group where they live under the 98, 2002, 2004 Premier League wins because that's what they remember, and that's one of our most successful periods in our time.
Yep.
And we can't see past that, and people have got it in their head that we are this big club. At the moment, we're not. And I think when you get that in your head, we're not we're not a big six team at the moment.
No.
And I hate saying it.
Can I just say, Arsene Wenger was saved by multiple FA Cups, right?
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta,
Yeah.
if he didn't win the FA Cup last season, he'd have been gone by now.
But also, Mike, Arsene Wenger was saved by constantly finishing in top four and getting Champions League on a consistent basis for years and years and years. And just to your point of Arsenal Fan TV, I do watch Arsenal Fan TV a lot. And I agree with some of the things they say on there. I disagree with some of them as well. But I think when they say little old Burnley and things like that, I don't think it's meant as disrespect. I just think it's meant as us as Arsenal fans
should be beaten.
We expected to win these games, especially at home. You know, I don't think it's any disrespect to the club. I think it's like we're Arsenal Football Club. We're supposed to be on paper beating teams that are bottom of the league. We're not supposed to be at home losing to these teams. It's disgraceful for us as fans to watch that. I don't think it's any disrespect to any club. I think that I think it's just like fans get annoyed and they say things, and like I would say, oh yeah, little old Burnley or little old West Brom. We should be no disrespect to them, but we should be tearing them apart 4-5-0 on pay. You know, it's not like the Arsenal of old in '98. I would have been saying the same thing. We should be beating them 5-0. We should not be drawing with them or losing to them. You know, or the Arsenal team. You know, I don't think it's anything.
Absolutely. The thing, I must admit as well, I just want to add to that. For 15 minutes before that sending off, you were superb.
Yeah,
I have no problems with that.
That's the best.
You played really well.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, and it was only the heroics of Pope that you didn't score. So, you know, I still think. I mean, all this talk about relegation, it's a load of rubbish as far as I'm concerned. Arsenal won't be relegated. There are far worse teams that will have loss of form in the second half of the seasons, like your Fulhams, your West Broms. Sheffield United are cut adrift at the moment. We're just starting to get out of the situation we're in at the moment. So, at the end of the day, Arsenal are too good to go down. I think you'll have a good surge. You'll get back. I think you'll get top 10 easy with the squad that you've got. If you can get a team that's going and a little bit of team galvanisation, come on, have a little bit of faith. You're not going to get.
I don't. I've just lost faith in that team. I just don't think that. I don't think we'll go down. We won't go down, but I just don't see us getting. If we lose our next 3 games, that's going to determine Arteta's reign at the club. And I just don't
what's
think.
Going to happen, he's going to go to Everton on the weekend, and he'll go back to his old stomping ground, and that'll be the last game for him.
Yeah. I just don't think that this team are good enough to even get top 8. I really don't. With the back 4 we've got,
I wouldn't say top 8. I wouldn't say top 10. I'd say we're lucky to get top half.
Well, yeah, we are. Yeah, we'll be very lucky. I just don't believe in this team. At the moment, from what I'm witnessing week in, week out, I just have no faith in this team that they're going to come. I used to go into games, even last season, I'll be like a little bit confident that we might pull off a draw against Tottenham, or we might beat Burnley, or we might beat, I don't know, Man United or whatever. But this season, I'm not confident in any game. No. Against you lot, I sat there and I thought, we're going to lose this. If we don't score by the 60th minute, we'll lose it.
Yep,
Tottenham, I knew we'd lose that game. When we beat Man United, I thought, okay, maybe, just maybe we're starting to see a turning point. And then when we go and lose to Leicester, I thought, okay, that was unlucky. It was smash and grab.
Because he changed the team. He changed the team that we beat Man United.
Yeah. And then we got battered by Villa. We got battered by Wolves. We just scraped a draw against Leeds. And then we go and lose to Burnley. I'm just not confident in and what I'm seeing. What was it? Someone put up a stat today that we scored 2 goals in our last 8 games. And one of them was a penalty, and one was a corner. Gabriel. We haven't scored from open play since Aubameyang scored on the opening day against Fulham. Away when we beat them 3-0.
Scored as many as Arsenal this season. Yeah,
exactly. And that proves my point. I'm just not going into Wednesday's game against Southampton. I am not confident we're going to get anything out of that game. When we played at home at the start of the season, I thought, you know what? At home, we're usually half decent. But now, No one's scared of us. No one's scared to come and beat us. And this season's proved anything. Everyone's beaten everyone this season. But with Arsenal, no, there's no bounce back. There's no fight. There's no like lose 1 week, right, lads? We need to get up and get going here. There's none of them. Other teams, I see it. Liverpool got battered 7-2 by Villa.
And then next week,
The thing is, it's all this. I'm getting bored. Yeah, I'm getting bored of losing. I've been bored of that for about 2 months now. But what I am bored of
2 months. I've been like it for years, mate.
Yeah, I know. But it's this whole, after a loss, you get all the bullshit from all the players. We go again next week. I'm really sorry. That's boring. And then the club just releasing video after video of training session. I don't care. Like, I don't care what you train like.
They're all posting pictures on Facebook and Instagram and like smiles. That's what I mean. Do they feel what we feel as fans?
No, none of them do. Not a single player does.
Exactly. It's like, well done. You've popped, like, Aubameyang's put a goal past like Matt Macy in training one-on-one. Well done.
Yeah, I know.
When is that ever going to happen in a game? I don't care about your little messages on social media saying we're really sorry for losing, and I don't care about your training. I want to see it on the pitch. Yeah,
exactly, 100%. And me and Mike, being Stevenage fans as well, I swear, Mike, that Arsenal and Stevenage are they must be interacting with each other this season on how to lose games.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? They've loaned players out to Stevenage in the past from Arsenal, and it looks like at the moment it's working in a different vein altogether. And it looks like, I'd be very surprised if the 1st of January or the first couple of games in January, either side still has the same manager.
Well, Arteta could go to Stevenage if he wants. He might get the best out of them.
We said it earlier. Like, me and Ed were talking about this earlier. Wayne Rooney's learning his trade at Derby County. Frank Lampard learned his trade at Derby County. Steven Gerrard is learning his trade at Glasgow Rangers in Scotland. These guys are learning their trade before going on to bigger and better things. Arteta needed to do the same.
Exactly. He needed to go. It's all well and good being Pep Guardiola's cone boy for 2-3 years, but he needed to go somewhere else to maybe, if he would have went somewhere else and then in 5 years' time he had a bit more experience, and say, give him the job, see what he can do.
Yeah.
But not straight. The job's too big for him. I really do believe that. And he's out of
a bit of experience to guide these players.
I'm not being funny. Sean Dice would be quality for us. I've always rated him as a manager.
Keep your hands off him.
No, what I will say, John, is obviously I was just going to bring in. Obviously, we play Southampton at our next game. Your next game, you go to an informed Villa, don't you, as well? So you're coming up against one of our old boys, Emi Martinez. I wonder if he'll have a screamer of a game like he did, last time out. He was,
from a Burnley viewpoint, I hope that's not the case. But in reality, Villa have had a very good start to the season. They ground out a very good result against Wolves, who are one of the toughest sides, I think, in the division. Away at home, away from Molineux. So you look at that, and I think, I think this game at Villa on Thursday is going to be a bit more tricky. No disrespect to the Arsenal one, but we've got to back that up now. I'm more interested now. If we can get a point, I'll be happy with a point from Villa. Then we go to the next game on. I don't know who we've got on next Monday, but we've got them on a tea time. Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now they're struggling at the moment, and we've started winning games at home again. We should have beaten Everton, but for a refereeing decision that wasn't given, which led to their equaliser. Alan pushed one of our lads, and the rest is history. But we got a good point, and it was a great performance. Now we've got a strong jaw back at home. Now I honestly believe that Wolves are there for the taking on Monday. And if we can get a point at Villa, on my theory is if we can get a point at Villa on Thursday, get 3 against Wolves, our season's up and running as far as I'm concerned. And then
you've got some good winnable games after that as well. You got United, you got Fulham, games that you should be, possibly getting 3 points from. Sheffield United and Fulham, anyway, definitely.
Sheffield United, definitely. I mean, Leeds will be no gimmick because that's at Ellen Road. They're a good side. The thing with Leeds is they're a very, very good side and they're an attractive side to watch. I have to say I've been very impressed with Leeds this season thus far, and I think they should be further up the table than what their position suggests. Sheffield United has to be 3 points, absolutely for sure. You're right there, Mike. Fulham, you don't know what you're going to get from Fulham one of these days. They can blow hot and cold. I mean, they gave a good performance against Liverpool, but then can give a bad performance as well. So you don't know what to expect with Fulham. But having said all that, if we can get up to about 16, 17 points by the turn of the year, which is doable because we've started getting that strong draw back. I'd like to see us have a good run in the FA Cup. We've got an opportunity against franchise Dons. I don't like the MK Dons. They're the one thing about modern football that I hate. They should have started at the bottom. Don't get me started on franchise.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on franchise Dons. They shouldn't even be in the competition. But never mind. That's another story.
They shouldn't even be in existence.
No, I agree.
They should. You're quite right. I agree with you 100%. But we've got an winnable cup tie there at home. We should win that one. But I said that 3 years ago about Lincoln, and look what happened. So, you don't know. But and it's the only game I've gone home from Turf Moor that I've cried my eyes out. I cried my eyes out that day.
When you lost to Lincoln, in the cup.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
I was happy against Spurs the other week, but inside I was crying hard.
Yeah.
I was just watching the thing about Gerard Houllier.
Yeah, of course, he passed away, didn't he? As our big rest in peace to him, of course, the former Liverpool manager. Villa as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
We have to touch on that.
Yeah, I'll go. Basically, I think Gerard Houllier was brilliant. I mean, he just came in and did a partnership with Roy Evans. It never quite worked out there for him. Gerard stayed on, built a very good side, spotted a young Steven Gerrard. They won the 3 trophies in 2001. Sorry to remind you that, Arsenal fans.
That FA Cup.
Yeah, but then Birmingham City and Alaves will also have to testify that they came up against a very good side as well in the other 2 fights. But he got them into the Champions League and built the foundations for the 2005 Champions League victory. So he played his part, and it's sad that he's passed away. And I was sad for him at Aston Villa because he just wasn't the manager he was at Liverpool, unfortunately, which was sad.
No.
Really good. He had a very good backroom staff. He had Thompson, a Liverpool man, helping him a while, and also he had to do all this, and he obviously had heart conditions and stuff like that when he managed Liverpool, and he was off for 6 months and things like that. But I think he'll be remembered at Liverpool, for bringing success back to the Liverpool. I mean, those 3 trophies. I mean, that'll live long in the memory of any Liverpool fan or any football fan for that matter. That 5-4 UEFA Cup final will live long in the memory, I'm sure, above the Cup final and the Worthington final.
It was an exceptional game, wasn't it, as well, that one, the 5-4, and of course, Gerard Houllier had a couple of spells out in his native France and that as well with clubs out there. But, you mentioned it there, that cup final against Arsenal as well. I remember watching it with a Liverpool fan, in fact, as well, round it, because I think it was 2001. I think it was college, whatever it was. With a Liverpool fan.
My brother's a Liverpool fan. I was watching it with him.
Yeah.
And my dad and my brother are Yids, so, it hurts seeing Arsenal the way we are.
You're just getting grips left, right, and centre. But now, what I will say in regards to Arsenal as well, we've got a very tricky run in. Of course, we've got Southampton, Everton, Man City, Chelsea, Brighton, of course, another side that are one of our bogey teams as well. And then we go to West Brom on the 2nd of January, and then we've got the FA Cup tie against Newcastle, and then
it's sad to say, Mike, we are in a relegation battle. People can laugh at it, but that's the harsh reality. We are in a relegation scrap. We're only 5 points off.
Yeah.
We are.
And how many points do you see us getting? Really? I can see us probably getting 2, maybe a couple of draws if we're lucky.
Yeah. We have to be fortunate. Brighton, we're not going to win. Everyone knows that, Brighton, especially Brighton away as well. We're no good at Brighton away whatsoever.
No. Southampton at home, that's going to be a tricky one because Danny Ings loves to go against Arsenal.
Well, everyone does this season.
Well, yeah, that's true. Even Aubameyang.
Well, we have to laugh because otherwise we'd be crying.
Well, mate,
the one thing I'll give you, Free, absolutely. I mean, you're very good sports. I've got to tell. I've got to say, I've been very impressed with you guys tonight. You've been very good sports. You've made me feel very welcome. One thing I will say, Southampton will be a difficult task for you. I know you're at home, and obviously you're going to have that disadvantage now. We're not having fans because now, obviously, London, I believe, is going to team. That'll be a little bit So that'll be a little bit of a disappointment there, not having the fans there. But well, probably not then. But having said all that, now Southampton, I watched them against Sheffield United. Okay, it's Sheffield United. They're not going well this season, but the way that they destroyed Sheffield United, they didn't just beat them; they obliterated them. They dominated them first to last whistle. And Ralph Hasenhüttl, remember a year ago, he was beaten 9-0 by Leicester, and look how well he's turned Southampton around into a very good all-round team. I think they're a good team to watch. If you're a neutral watching the Premier League and you want to pick a good team to watch, I would suggest two teams: Southampton and Aston Villa at the moment. I think you know.
Do you know what I will say that this season, Liverpool winning it last season and Leicester a few years ago, and now this season. I don't want to see Tottenham win it. I don't care who wins it. I just don't want them to win it before we win it. But it is good for the Premier League to see the clubs, the so-called smaller clubs, do well and be up there in the top 4 and the top 6s and everything else. Because for years and years, all right, as fans, it was always Arsenal,
United, 3-horse race.
Yeah. Now it's like that's what I'm saying. No one's afraid of anyone anymore. Like I said, Villa put 7 past Liverpool. No one would have thought that in a million years. No one again would have thought Burnley would have beaten Arsenal at home for the first time since 74?
Yep.
74. And I can remember, I can tell you who the goal scorer was that day at Highbury. Peter Noble. Yeah, Peter Noble. Who also played, can I just add, sorry to rub this in, played in the 69 Swindon side that beat you lot at Wembley 3-1 in the worst Wembley pick ever. It was even so good. Brian Moore absolutely loved you getting beat. There you go.
Well, I was going to say on Southampton, I don't know what your thoughts on this are, but I think Southampton are reaping the rewards now for bringing their academy players through and selling them on. They're investing very, very well now. And they're right up there, and
they've always been good.
Why ain't we doing that?
Yeah, exactly.
Why ain't we putting the players on like Smith Rowe and Bellingham? And I would rather just give Bellingham a chance. Throw him in the first team. I looked at our bench on Sunday against Burnley, right? And I looked at our bench, and I thought there was no one on that bench that could come on and change that game like that. When you look at benches like City and Liverpool and all them, the only player I thought that might be able to do something would be Ceballos.
And Eddie Nketiah, you have to look at as top goal scorer as well.
Yeah, but he's done nothing. Since then, what has he done?
Yeah, but he's not been given the opportunity. He's not starting enough games.
That's the thing. You can be brought on as a sub, and great, but it's all about starting. You get that momentum from the beginning. Like we all know, it shouldn't be the case, but it does take 10, 15 minutes to get into a game, get the swing of the game. And if you're being brought on in the 80th minute, well, you might as well not be brought on.
Yeah.
To be honest,
I'm not being funny. I'll rather see that Bellingham. He looks a lot better than Eddie Nketiah.
Oh, I love it.
He looks sharper. He looks quicker. He looks hungrier.
Yeah,
Just
I love
throw him on.
And the way he holds up a ball as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
His hold-up play is brilliant. And do you know what? People slate Lacazette. People say with Lacazette, his finishing. Yeah, he's a top striker. 9 times out, he should be burying the chances that he gets, hands down. Like that one against Burnley, he should have buried it. He should. There's been times where this season alone and last season he could have buried so many goals. But I've always liked Lacazette's work rate.
Yeah,
he does try his hardest, and he does try and put in 100%. And you've got players on that team that are so lazy that they just don't. Now, this is the other thing. If your players like Aubameyang and Lacazette that put in the work rate, that carried this team for 2 years, and then you see players like Bellerin and that are just lazy and get skinned every week, I would be fuming. I mean, why should I bother?
Not even just Aubameyang and Lacazette, Bukayo Saka coming through as well. He was our brightest spark towards the end of last season. Yeah, and he's looking at some of these players that are getting in ahead of him. 99 times out of 100, and he's like, "Well, I'm a million times better than Willie, and I could easily do a better job than him on this right hand side."
Yeah. Now the thing is, right, Xhaka's out for 3 games now. Bellerin's out for the next game because he's got too many yellow cards, right? Mm-hmm. So Arteta has been forced now to change it up. He has got to change it up. He can't. If it works and he changed it up, say he put Cedric in at right back, I don't know who he'd put in the middle. He could put Joe Willock and El Neni or Thomas El Neni or Niles or whoever, and we win our next 3 games.
Yeah.
And then, or get at least 7 points out of them next 3 games, because I don't think we'll beat Chelsea. And it works. And then Xhaka and Bellerin come back and he puts him straight in again.
It's under masses of pressure. We've said it earlier.
I will be fuming because at the end of the day, you will know then that it's favouritism, that he favours these players over the other players.
Yeah. And that's it. Like I said it earlier on the stream that I was watching on YouTube, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mikel Arteta goes with Callum Chambers at right back and Danny Ceballos and El Neni as a midfield too, because that's just what he does. Like as much as that would be dreadful and horrible and exactly the opposite of what we want to see, that's Mikel Arteta. That's exactly what I expect.
Do you know who I miss in that team? And I think I can't wait for him to get back. If he comes back now, this will be our perfect front three. Our front attack, if it works, and I think we will get goals. Martinelli on the left, Pepe on the right, Lacazette sitting behind, and Aubameyang in the middle. I think that Martinelli, when he comes back, he will be straight back in that team. He's got to be.
He's not far away. He played last week in the under
23s. He was one of our best. You saw it last season. He before he got injured at Chelsea and that. When Lacazette and that weren't scoring, he was running up that pitch and banging in goals.
I tell you what, though, who passed him the ball at Stamford Bridge? William.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think about Wednesday? Do you think we'll win?
No, I think we're going to get beat. I think we'll get beat. Yeah, I'll be, as much as I'd love to see Arsenal win and turn the corner, I can't see it at the moment. There's just
Mike, Southampton's a bad omen for me and you as well, because you remember that cup game we went to.
Oh my God! When they scored that screamer from about 25 yards,
in the 89th minute, and we got knocked out. Oh, mate, the Southampton's a bad omen for me and you.
Oh. Thanks for reminding me. That one is in my memory, but that does remind me now. Yeah,
that's right. It's always been in my memory as well. Always been in my. I'll tell you what. I still say the best Arsenal game that I probably can remember at Highbury was. I was 15 at the time, and we beat Deportivo 5-0 in the UEFA Cup, when it was called the UEFA Cup back then. And we beat them in the quarter-final, and that was the year that we signed Canu. And Canu came on and he took the complete piss out of the whole Deportivo team, and he just went on, banged 2 goals, and Nelka scored as well. That's what I mean, man. Why did we ever leave Highbury? Surely we could have extended it.
Well, no,
Just built up the tears.
Some great chats come through from Ty. He's very active in the chat there. Sad to see, but Wolves, Villa and Burnley all had not won at ours for decades. That has now been put to bed. We hold no fear factor at home. Yep, 100% agree with that.
When the Emirates was somewhat of a fortress a while back.
Yeah. He's also said, we are the 3rd biggest club in London. We under Wenger didn't finish lower than 6th in his 22-year tenure. Yes, that is why fans expect Arsenal to
I want to touch up on that, what he said, right? As I said earlier, we all slated Wenger. I probably called him name after name, and as I said, it's football fans being angry with what's going on. But we were never this bad under Wenger.
Mm-hmm.
We were never this bad, and we had worse teams than Wenger. We had Benter, for Christ's sake.
I know. I think Ed's had to leave us as well. So thanks for joining, Ed, and we're probably going to start to wrap it up anyway. I know his kids just come in there and he's going to probably be putting his kid to bed or whatever. I think his kids probably should be in bed anyway at her age or his age, I think. But good for joining, mate.
Well, hopefully next time you see me, Mike, my Arsenal would have won and my grey hairs wouldn't be coming through.
Maybe, mate. Yeah, I will bring up a couple more points from him as well, though. We need to clear out the Wenger players who are not being challenged week in, week out for their place. That is why they are picked week in, week out. Yep, spot on time. Yep. And finally, Nketiah has had chances that he should be scoring and misses. He needs 4 or 5 chances before he puts one away. Balogun, I've seen a lot of in the under-21s and the 23s, and he is clinical. I'd have him over Nketiah any day of the week. And he's the in-form striker at the club as well, as I said earlier.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said earlier. Nketiah, he's okay, but he's not. He's just missing chance after chance. And Balogun is playing so much better than him. And he's just like, why not just give him a chance? Just throw him in.
Yeah,
even if we 1-0 down, like against Burnley, and we're chasing the game, 20 minutes to go, just throw the lad on. You know, just throw him on and just see if it don't work, then try again. But just throw him on and see what he can do. He's proven it in Europe in the last few games that he's played. Try him in the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly. What I will say as well is we're going to actually wrap it up there, fellas, if that's all right. It's been an hour and 15. So, Ed, thanks a lot, mate. And, you know, do you want to talk about your channel that you've got, your ideas? Obviously, you're creating a similar sort of thing as well. And John, you've got a YouTube channel, which I'll bring in as well. But Ed's got a channel that he's going to be creating. So just, Ed, if you want to just give that a little mention, first of all, about what's going to be happening with that.
Yeah, it's just obviously like you guys, really, just a few friends that want to talk and moan about their football club. And it's just, it's our way of venting, and you never know, other fans might feel the same and want to get involved as well.
All right, that's hopefully going to be coming up, early next year?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah. All right, and Wayne, of course, you know, where should people look out for you? Do you want to give out your social media plugs or anything like that, or your music? Because you're big into your music as well.
Yeah, I ain't really done much at the moment because I've had a bit of a crap year myself. Obviously, I had that back injury that I told you about, and that's put me out of work. So I was laid up for a couple of weeks as well. So yeah, I ain't really been doing much, but probably won't release any music now till after New Year. But I am starting a Football Manager series on YouTube.
Okay, so what's your channel for YouTube? Give that a little plug out as well then.
Do you know what? I actually don't know it off by heart, but I will message it to you, and then you could post it or something.
Yeah, excellent. I'll do that.
I think it's Young Wayne UK.
Okay, keep an eye on. Let's have a little look on YouTube now. John, whilst I do that, what's your YouTube details? You want to give those out?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm also going to plug another YouTuber that I'm also active with as well, if you don't mind as well. First of all, my YouTube channel, JB. My YouTube channel is JB Sport. Well, 2 live commentaries, by the way, tomorrow. We've got Wolves against Chelsea, and then Russ Vernon, our friend, is going to be commentating on Manchester City against West Brom. And also on Wednesday, I also beg anybody who's watching out there to go and join this YouTuber called Trevor Sports. It's based on the old BBC coverage in the 90s. He does things like Grandstand, Sports Night, Match of the Day, Grand Prix, that sort of thing. He's got we want to get him to 500 subscribers. He's a very good friend of mine. I'm commentating on the virtual Sports Night on PES 2020. The main match is actually Tottenham's visit to Anfield. That's a virtual version, by the way. So, yeah, if you can check his channel out and check my channel out tomorrow, I'll be doing 2 live games. I'll be presenting the second one and commentating on the first one. So JB Sports and Trevor Sports are the 2 active YouTube channels that I'm very actively involved in at the moment.
And I'll just mention that is Young Wayne UK. I have checked that is the right thing. Also, if you want to come and check out the other stuff that I'm involved in, there's RS Media, which is the football commentaries. So you can get involved in that and give that a little watch. And also SFC interviews, where I do interviews with some sort of former Stevenage players. And the next one's a big one, actually, Wayne, as well. I've got former captain Ronnie Henry coming on.
Nice.
So, of course, former Spurs Academy graduate.
Yeah, tell him to sign up to the team now. He might be able to kick him into shape.
Yeah, so that's my 50th one. That's the first real big milestone, actually, for that. So, yeah.
That's why I said when Arsenal need Henry back in that team in Vieira, they'll kick him in the
But yeah, cheers, John. Thanks a lot for joining, mate. And good luck for the rest of the season. You know, we might even do a similar kind of thing in the reverse at Turf Moor as well.
I'll hold you.
We won't Thank you. Next season, mate. We'll be in the Championship.
Ed, thanks a lot, Ed. Thanks a lot,
Yeah,
mate.
cheers.
And Wayne, thanks a lot. We're going to be back. Hopefully, we might even see if I can get you and Wayne, Ed, and you two on for the next game. We can talk maybe at the end of the week or sort of Friday or whatever.
Friday night if you want, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
cool with that.
Friday night. Talk about the Southampton game. Whatever happens with that one, we'll arrange something for Friday. Then, yeah, okay, fellas.
Yeah, because I won't be as stressed.
Yeah.
I'll be out.
Give a couple of days to wind down.
Yeah. All right, lads. Stay safe. Yeah.
Yeah, you too, boys.
Yeah,
Thanks
you
a lot.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Layers.
See you later, guys.